Good morning. Thought I don't know, one of those mornings where I'm feeling restless. Again, woken up thinking, oh goodness, another day in lockdown, realizing that it's the 4th of July. And, there's great celebrations apparently because the pubs are opening. And I've seen newspaper articles where, you know, there's a pub just up the road, or a social club just up the road from me, where they've put tables out all over the bowling green, and that caused, I'm sure, if you know anything about those things, a bit of controversy. Um, People have booked tables, all the tables are booked up, and there's this whole sort of, we're ready to go, we're ready to celebrate. I don't know how you feel about celebrating. I'm sat here with my prayer table, I've got some candles lit, and yet I'm finding it really quite difficult to focus this morning, and to pray and to read and to think. So of course I just thought I'd share all of that waffle with you. But how are you feeling? What do you feel about the 4th of July? Is it a cause for celebration for you, or are you maybe feeling a bit like me? It's difficult, isn't it? And it's easy to judge one another, and it's easy to moan and groan. Um, but I guess we can only be how we are and who we are and what we feel like. And just looked at my prayer book today, and it's about the God who goes before us, travels with us. And that is so often the God I preach, the God who makes a way for us, prevenient grace, big word, you know. And that reminds me in our baptism service in the Methodist Church, where we say the wonderful words, all this for you, before you could know anything of it. And we speak those to the one being baptized, having proclaimed the love of God, the love of Christ, who's gone before us and made a way for us. So I thought I'd share my morning prayers, and they're entitled Pilgrimage. Blessed be you, out there in front, God, drawing us on through our struggle and yearning to meet you and ourselves on the journey. Travel with me, I pray, as I go through this day. Praise to you, inspiring Spirit. You promise to meet every pilgrim soul who packs a bag of troubles and hopes and sets out as a seeker with an open heart. Praise to you for surprising me by showing me my true desire, widening my horizons, and honouring my sacred intent. And I pause and I ponder what my sacred intent is. And maybe it is to simply bring how I am and who I am before God this morning. So the reading set for today is this. It's from John 6. And again, it talks to us about what we bring to God and how that might be used. Jesus has been talking to the religious leaders and just struggling with their inability to see who he is and to see God the Father in acts of love and inclusion. And so John 6 starts, after this, Jesus went across the Sea of Galilee. A huge crowd followed him, attracted by the miracles they'd seen him do among the sick. When he got to the other side, he climbed a hill and sat down, surrounded by his disciples. It was nearly time for the feast of Passover, kept annually by the Jews. When Jesus looked out and saw that a large crowd had arrived, he said to Philip, "Where can we buy bread to feed these people?" And Philip answered, 200 silver pieces wouldn't be enough to buy bread for each person to get a piece. One of the disciples, it was Andrew, brother to Simon Peter, said, "There's a little boy here who has 5 barley loaves and 2 fish, but that's a drop in the ocean for a crowd like this." And Jesus said, "Make the people sit down." There was a carpet of green grass in this place, and they sat down, about 5,000 of them. And Jesus took the bread, and having given thanks, gave it to those who were seated. And he did the same with the fish. All ate as much as they wanted. And when the people had eaten their fill, he said to the disciples, "Gather the leftovers, so nothing is wasted." And they went to work and filled 12 baskets from the leftovers of the 5 barley loaves. The people realized that God was at work among them in what Jesus had done, and they said, "This is the prophet for sure, God's prophet right here in Galilee." And Jesus saw that in their enthusiasm they were about to grab him and make him king. So he slipped off and went up the mountain to be by himself. I wonder what speaks to you from that passage, from that story. You might like to take a look at it. John 6, 1-15. I've read it from the Message version. I've read it in a couple of other versions this morning as well. And what strikes me is the way that Jesus slips off. Not being pushed by someone else's agenda, not being pushed by those wanting to grab him and make him king and force him into a role that is not his. He slips off. And I wonder how many times we miss what God is doing because God has slipped off before us. And it takes us a little while to wake up and perhaps to catch the fact that our agenda is not the agenda of God. But he goes before us. She goes before us and waits for us on the path, the pilgrim path that we are called to follow. So continue in prayer. Wayfaring one. Up hill and mount, by well and spring, by standing stone and shrine. How you satiate when the outer landscape teaches my inner one. How natural to trust what I find within. Lead my naturally booted feet when I go away for a while. Lead naturally my receiving hands, free of daily care. Lead naturally my body and sustain when I become weary. Lead naturally my solitude to find my company in you. Lead naturally my searching heart to find what I need, to find on this part of the road what I need. Lead naturally my meditation this day, that I might see my true size in this wide world. Stretch my resources by your grace when I encounter challenge, and enlarge my love as I cross unknown land to find the holy place. May I return to my home as to my heavenly home, changed by my walk with you this day. Living one. As I set out on this broad, open road, treading the path that is mine to tread, open my eyes to the others who share this road with me, those joined by quest or only by being a fellow traveller. For we all carry a scallop shell inside, journeying and seeking, not one of us knowing the exact way. And I particularly remember those given alongside me this day. I wonder who you're travelling with and how you're travelling. I wonder in these times who I'm travelling with, especially as I live on my own. And yet I am blessed by many fellow travellers, I know that. Bless each of us to our journey, to all that we find, and to all that is only yours to know this day. So bless my feet in the footsteps of well-trodden paths. Bless my eyes as they gaze with I'll try again in English. Bless my feet in the footsteps on this well-trodden path. Bless my eyes as they gaze with awe where many have gazed before. May the blessing that so many have found bless me as only your love can find me. And as the sun shines on my journey, show me your face this day. So whatever you're doing today, may you know the blessing of God. May you sense that, may you feel that, may you be held in that, and may you be led by love. God bless you and keep you. Thanks for joining me if you have. Bye-bye.